Do not look at a girl and be like, ooh, titties, and then, ooh, she's hot. Try to find a middle ground personality. Hello and welcome back to another episode of DBT Sundays, a series where I go over DBT topics that I think people could benefit from learning about. And I do this on Sundays because Sundays is the last day of the week. At least for me, technically it's the first day of the week, but for me it's the last day of the week, and I have an entire week to plan what I want to do for DBT Sundays. So today we're going to be talking about the different minds that people can have. Now, I'm not talking about personalities. I'm not talking about like DID, dissociative identity disorder, and I'm not talking about any sort of personality disorder in general, like BPD, borderline personality disorder, which is not multiple personalities. I want to get that out of the way. BPD, borderline personality disorder, is very different than having multiple personalities, but that's not what we're talking about. Today we're going to be talking about the three minds, which are the rational mind, the wise mind, and the emotional mind. And you can sort of position this in a Venn diagram sort of style. You take certain aspects of the rational mind and the emotional mind, and then you combine it together to create the wise mind. So why is it called these things? Well, because the rational mind focuses on rational things, as obvious as that may seem. So it acknowledges knowledge as the dictating source of what you should do. You're not relying on your emotions, you're relying on logic. You're relying on common sense. You know, it's sort of the left brain, right brain kind of thing. Whereas the right brain is more emotional, the left brain is more intellectual, analytical, stuff like that. And people with the rational mind tend to be a lot more, as the kids say nowadays, extra in its own way. The same thing goes for the emotional mind. The emotional mind can be very extra in its own special way, but the rational mind, when it's a little bit extra, can be overly honest. That's a good example of one. Being overly honest and being overly attentive to details and analytical and based on statistics, stuff like that. Whereas the emotional mind focuses a lot more on experiences that are based in emotion. So I feel good, therefore this happened. I feel good because this happened. I feel bad because this happened. I feel. It's all about how you feel, you know? It's using emotion instead of logic, which in a weird sense kind of intertwines with the wise mind. And the wise mind is taking aspects of both those minds and combining them into the wise mind. So you have things like intuitive thinking, you have things like being mindful. And that's a very important skill to have, being mindful. What is mindful? Well, I talked about this in other videos, but to put it very simply, it's being aware of the present moment. When you are in wise mind, you are able to take aspects from the rational, emotional, and your own mind. These aren't literal minds, they're mindsets. You know, and you can take aspects from both mindsets and you can apply it together to create the wise mind. And the wise mind focuses on having balance. Like I mentioned before, mindfulness is a very important skill, and it's being aware of the current moment, or more specifically, being aware of everything that is happening in the present. Now, not worrying about the past, or not being sad about the past, because it happened. There's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is move forward, but at the same time, not worrying about the future, because that's where anxiety comes from. Being sad from the past is where depression comes from, and feeling anxious for the future is where anxiety comes. And a big skill that you can learn, especially in the world of DBT and especially in the world of the working world. You know, I'm a college student, I'm about to apply for my first job, and I need to be able to master this wise mind stuff, because you need to be able to acknowledge that, yes, this is my logic, yes, this is my emotion. Now, where do I find the common ground? Where do I find the middle? And that is the wise mind, emotional mind, and rational mind. So I hope you enjoyed me rambling on for a little bit. I did repeat myself a lot, and I did go back and forth, but I hope you enjoyed. Today's a little bit of a different day because I'm planning on streaming today. By the way, if you want to catch me streaming, I'll start putting my Twitch in the comments below. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been a very exciting series to do, because it's not necessarily talking about my stay in a mental hospital or my stay in a partial mental hospital or my experience in mental illness in general. It's more about coping, and I think that that's more important than learning about this happens, and I hallucinated the sky opening up and God coming down. You know, I feel like talking about DBT skills is a lot more important to the common person than some psychotic kid seeing heaven open up. So, yeah. If there's one thing you can take away from this video, do not look at a girl and be like, ooh, titties, and then, ooh, she's hot. Try to find a middle ground personality. Catch you in the next one.